Hey guys, welcome back. Grimclaws here, and I'm glad to have the Clan Club community with me today. There's a deck that I wanted to highlight. As I said yesterday in my previous video, I have 5 40-card decks that I want to highlight. I posted the first one yesterday. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's called In the Shadows, and it's a 40-card Shadow Death Rattle Priest. So it's actually doing pretty good for me. 90% win rate so far. Before I get into the next deck I want to highlight, which is going to be called 40 Times the Holiness. It's a 40-card Paladin deck, and all of these lists of these 5 decks that I am showcasing can be found on my Twitter. I posted all the deck codes 2 days ago, and they will also be down in the description. So there's something I want to touch on first before we get to the gameplay about Maxroll here. And as you can see, the setup is a little bit different than normal just because of the gameplay, and I don't want to block stuff out, so I've minimized the camera a little bit. If you like the content, like, subscribe, hit the bell. If you don't, dislike it. Maybe you can get some use out of the deck code. If you want to support the channel, I do have a Cash App. It's money sign Grimclaws, GRIMCLAWZ. That's also my Twitter handle, @Grimclaws. So if you want to find the deck list there, or like I said, you can find each individual one in each individual video in the description. So with that said, roll the intro.
Welcome back, Claw Club community. It's time for the claws to come out.
Hey guys, Grimclaws here. If you're not interested in the Maxroll Diablo Immortal article, you can skip to 29 minutes and 18 seconds to get straight to the gameplay and deck. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to get into was this article by Maxroll that I came across. And it really disheartens me quite a lot, because growing up, D2, Diablo 2, and StarCraft were my 2 favorite games. I was actually a pro StarCraft player for a little bit, but back then, unless you had, sponsorship deals and all that, and were just the best of the best, you weren't going to compete. There wasn't esports back in, 2002, or if there was, it was very loosely organized, and it was hard to get up there. I had like a 533-21 record in StarCraft. I loved that game. I never got into StarCraft 2, unfortunately, because life happened. And I did continue playing Diablo 2 until it just, died out. I loved that game. I had the Breath of the Dying. It took me forever to get the Zod rune, but I did. I got the 6-socket sword. I made the Breath of the Dying sword. I had best in slot gear and everything. I never got into Diablo 3 either because, again, life happened. That was all around the same time. I would have loved to play StarCraft 2 or Diablo 3, but unfortunately I couldn't. Well, anyways, I love the Diablo franchise. I am looking forward to Diablo 4, but not quite as much because of what Diablo Immortal has done to the franchise, and that's what this touches on. So this is from Maxroll, and basically it says, I'll just read a little bit of it. The Maxroll team covers games we're passionate about. We had high hopes for Blizzard Diablo Immortal release since it could integrate a new audience and generation of gamers to a franchise we love. Exactly. It can bring in mobile gamers into a franchise that they're very passionate about, and I commend them on that. They thoroughly tested it, tech alpha, closed beta, concluding that the core game could be molding into something great. And I've actually seen some of the testing they've done. These guys created like 19-page spreadsheets that were just all about like how much things differed from dungeon to dungeon and rifts, and the way to min-max the best, and the most efficient way to play the game, and the most to get out of it and have the most fun. And these guys put a lot of work into it, and they do it for free. So I mean, they're literally putting out 19-page spreadsheets on everything in the game, and Diablo Immortal still comes out the way it does. And in fact, I think it's probably a conspiracy theory, so speculation warning, but I think Blizzard kind of weaponized Maxroll and other testers. Excuse me one second, I'm just going to turn on Do Not Disturb, just so we don't get bothered. But I feel like they weaponized Maxroll because Maxroll gave them so much data on how to make this a great game. And they used all that information on how to predatory monetize it. You know, like, oh, they can do this quick and get this many rewards. Well, let's take that down a little bit and let's move this up a little bit. So I almost think they weaponized the testers. If that's true, I don't know. Like I said, speculation warning on that. But let's continue on. However, heavy hearts today, we're announcing the closure of Maxroll's Diablo Immortal branch. They're closing it down. So here's just a quick timeline. BlizzCon 2018. Obviously, this is when Blizzard announced Diablo Immortal. And it received a ton of negative press. Maxroll could have easily dismissed the Immortal from the beginning. However, small glimpses of the game showed promise, so they made preliminary coverage plans. It received negative backlash just because people were so used to just going out, spending $60 from Blizzard and getting a nice polished game. You know, that's what you expect when you hear the Blizzard name is, yeah, I may have to wait a year or two longer to get my game because that's how Blizzard is. They're perfectionists, or used to be. And when I give them my $60-$70, it is starting to transition to now a little bit more money. I know I'm going to get a super polished game that is ready to go right out of the box. And that's just not true with most of their games anymore. Hearthstone, every time they release a patch, it breaks the game. There's bugs for days. I mean, how long did Tyrannus go without any text on it? It was months. And when they put Snapdragon in the mini set, it broke the game for like 3 days because it gave every single Battlecry card, including hero cards, and just every single thing that said Battlecry on it, +1/+1, when it was only supposed to do it for minions. So they tested it in technical alpha. They were able to see the combat system, dungeons, challenge rifts, other basic features. They tested it in closed alpha. Raxantarax, I'm sorry if I fucked up your name. I apologize. I watched your video. I thought it was amazing, but I have to agree with Asmongold. It was one of the most depressing things, one of the most depressing videos I've ever watched, because I know how much you love the franchise and how much of your heart and soul you put into testing this game because of how much you love the franchise, and just being so disheartened by the fact, you know, of the things that they did. So Rob, EcoHack, and Facefoot teamed together and reached Paragon 150 power levels that surprised everyone, including the developers. I wonder why there is a kind of a time gate / experience debuffer on it now. You know, if you're, I think every day they add like 2 Paragon levels or something, and if you're that much above it, then your experience gets way knocked down. And if you're below it, your experience gets way put up. So, during the testing, they discovered Crusaders were too powerful, PvP was a one-shot fest, leveling was gated, certain systems and events didn't function correctly, and activity reward varied wildly. They spent over 1,000 fucking hours providing dozens, like I said, 19-page fucking Excel spreadsheets I saw on, what was his name, Raxantarax, Again, I apologize if I'm fucking up that name. Written feedback, in-depth spreadsheets, and more to advance Immortal's development. Despite the game's flaws, this was the best version of Immortal we had seen to date. There were no caps, no shop, no pay-to-win elements, and the game truly rewarded playing to power up. Our articles received a gigantic rework as we became a top source for Diablo information. We also picked up 4 team members along the way: Lexu, Dread Scythe, EcoHack, and Greg2G. Alright, there's a note here. There are some thoughts circulating within the community that our min-maxing performances in the closed alpha were used to anchor/cap free to play capabilities. While we are unsure of the truth of this data, as testers, players, and dedicated members of the franchise, we're always going to try our best. Now, that's touching on the conspiracy theory that I'm saying. Like, I feel like these people poured their heart and soul into it, and my heart goes out to them that they put all of this time in there and they were basically weaponized so Diablo, or rather Blizzard, could see exactly what was too easy and what was too hard for the whales, and figure out we'll use this guy's information or Maxroll's information to make it the most egregiously pay-to-win game that's ever been put out. I mean, it was banned in, I believe, Belgium and the Netherlands before it even came out because of loot box rules. China banned it because of a Winnie the Pooh joke. I mean, that's a little bit different, but I mean, China's one to speak when it comes to fucking games that take all your cash, egregious monetization. So, but a Winnie the Pooh joke will get a game banned. Fuck him. He does look like Winnie the Pooh. And that's talking about the China Communist Party leader. He's got a big chubby face and he looks like Winnie the fucking Pooh. Who fucking cares? Like, if you can't take an insult like that, dude, you shouldn't be in charge of a country, especially one as big and important as China. Anyways, closed beta. Immortals closed beta launched with mixed feelings, with some feedback had been fixed. Other issues from the previous 2 testing phases remained. They grew concerned, and as they expected, 7 additional months of development between closed alpha and closed beta to resolve most of the major problems. The monetization testing began as the in-game shop was introduced. There were early warning signs of how predatory the game could be. There was unlimited spending, legendary gems provided combat rating when they didn't in the closed alpha. This is why I feel they were weaponized. And resonance was far too strong and completely paywalled. Making matters worse, the free-to-play experience was awful due to outrageous crafting costs, the scarcity of legendary crests, and the lack of upgrade paths in the game, which we've all come to see. All things considered, the closed beta felt pound for pound worse than the closed alpha. Still, we put in hundreds of additional hours to give feedback to the developers and community alike, and updated the guides to be ready for launch. So on release, Diablo Immortal released both on mobile and in beta version on PC. Our worst fears were realized. Many of the key issues are still not fixed, and the free-to-play experience is worse than we could ever imagine. The shop allows the player to acquire infinite resonance and combat rating, and new 5-star legendary gem bundles. Outright sell them directly. Newly introduced Paragon caps on upgrading gear and hidden caps on practically all looted items deflated the incentive to play the game. With nothing to grind beyond a few faction dailies, players lost interest quickly. Which is true. Most players, if you ask them today, they log in, they do their dailies because they spent a bunch of money buying 90 days worth of Battle Pass, or one of the 3 Battle Passes. Don't forget, there's the regular Battle Pass, and then there's the Empowered Battle Pass, and then there's like the Collector's Battle Pass. And then there's the... I don't even remember what the other one is. It scrolls vertically, though, instead of horizontally. I can't even remember what that system is. And it's just... Anyways, continuing on, we knew all along the game would be pay to win, and leading a cherished franchise into the mobile market would certainly bring challenges for both developers and the community. Despite these concerns, we planned to prevail and make the most of what we thought was a good core game with plenty of potential. With how the release turned out, we couldn't have been more disappointed. Now, I want to point out that I waited 2 years on the registry list to play this game. I had it on automatic download from the Play Store, and it's still, when you see me boot up Hearthstone, you'll see the icon there for Diablo Immortal. I still haven't opened it yet because I just don't think I want to. After waiting 2 years and seeing everything that happened, it's making me very just not interested in playing with it. I don't have the new estimation is $540,000. The original $110,000 expense to max out your character was from someone that didn't realize what awakening was. Because once you awaken a piece of gear, when you get a 10 out of 10 5-star gem and you put it in your piece, it allows 5 more slots. So that means you need 36 10 out of 10 5-star legendary gems to max out your character's gear. That's not including all the side stuff. And some of the things to awaken these things are in the shop. Like, you literally have to go buy, I can't remember the name of it, but it costs $30. And you can't get it anywhere in the game. It doesn't drop. You have to pay the $30 to get it, to awaken that piece of gear, to be able to put more legendaries in. And also remember, these legendaries have to be matched up equally. So if you have a 4-star gem, then you would need something like 36 1-star gems of the same type to max it out to 5. Because you would, take 2 1s, and that would make a 2. And then another 2 would make another 2. And then those 2 would make a 3. And now you need to do that again. So that's another 8. And now you have 2 3s, and you can make a 4, and then, on and on and on. So anyways, as they say, it's never easy to walk away from something you've put a lot of time into. However, we feel responsible for the games we choose to support and the types of games we want to see be made. Most importantly, Maxroll is just to provide a service to our community members, and we consider it our duty to be good caretakers for them. As such, we cannot in good faith continue to cover this game. And finally, the decision. I think we all know why the decision was made. Just the monetization of the game. Canceling a game we've cumulatively put 10,000 plus hours. Guys, these guys have played it for 10,000 plus hours for free. Blizzard didn't give them shit for it. You know what they gave them? A shitty game, and doubt that any Blizzard game from now on that comes out is going to be something you can go just drop $70 on and get a polished game that includes everything. People are pretty much saying, fuck Diablo, let's just go play Path of Exile. And honestly, I don't blame them. I don't know if I can do this. Let me try that. If you can see over there on the TV, it's right in front of it. Probably not. I can zoom in with this right now, but I got a gaming laptop over there, and I'm just ready for. I'm interested in the PoE on the phone, the mobile version, and I'm interested in getting into it on the computer. I've actually never played it before, so because of this, it gives me so many doubts about Diablo 4 and just any Blizzard games. I mean, they're pushing out Dragonflight for WoW way too early. They announced the new expansion for Hearthstone like a month early. Almost ridiculous. It's almost like they're hurting for money or something. And Overwatch 2 is kind of a copy paste of Overwatch 1. I mean, with a new character added in and some new maps. What I think they should do, and I mean, you can mention down in the comments if you agree or disagree with this, but I think they should realize World of Warcraft has had its run, and after Dragonflight, bring in Sargeras and have the final fight and end the game. That's what I think they should do. Even Final Fantasy at this point is outperforming it. I mean, that's an outdated MMO that has just revitalized itself because it actually feels fun to play, and it feels, the systems in place are actually, not all fucked up like covenants and fucking power borrowing and all this shit. What I think they should do is get a new engine. The World of Warcraft engine is old, and it's part of the problem. It's holding them back. Imagine if they could use Unreal 5 and make a World of StarCraft. Basically just take World of Warcraft, reskin it as StarCraft, and you can play as a Protoss, a Terran, a Zerg, and they could make up like the Xel'Naga, that created all these races and all the other stuff in the StarCraft lore, and make all these races. It could be a huge open world MMORPG just set in the future with like cyber type shit going on. I mean, I'm looking forward to Starfield. That looks crazy. Something like that, except huge open world MMORPG. Basically World of Warcraft in the StarCraft universe on the Unreal 5 engine, I think would be amazing, or something equivalent to it. So anyways, finishing up this Maxroll article so we can get into the gameplay. Their number one reason, economic structure. This is by far the biggest reason we're discontinuing the Diablo Immortal branch. The predatory pay-to-win system greatly exceeds what's considered the norm for mobile gaming. Gambling addictions are real and can completely destroy lives. That's 100% true. Even if 99% of the players have perfect impulse control, which we know is not true, we still can't stomach what happens to the other 1%. This is completely against our values, and we will not remain part of this any longer. Good for you, Maxroll. Good for you. That shows some goddamn integrity, and that's what this country needs right now, is some fucking integrity. People being accountable for what they did and not telling everyone else what they should do. I'm so sick of this socialist agenda. I don't want to bring politics into it, but I mean, the Democratic Party has become basically communistic. They're socialists at this point. The Republicans are conservative, like overbearing, want to merge church and state almost. I mean, you got moderates in between, but god damn, I wish we could get an independent president. Disengagement and community response is their second. The disappointment we felt at launch aligns with the communities, not just from the pay-to-win perspective, but about the game itself. While we are not game designers, we can't believe this is the state of the game after nearly 2 years of testing and feedback. And there's a reason that they feel that way, because it's basically a copy-paste of Diablo 3. It's like they just reskinned a few things, added in these egregious monetizations all over the place, made it specifically for whales, and just handed out little tidbits for free-to-play players. And it's just bullshit. And, you go into PvP and these giga whales just one-shot you. There's no fun there, It's Jesus. And your loot really doesn't even matter, because you can buy a cosmetic upgrade in the shop right when you start the game. So, like, you look amazing right off the bat. Remember, half the fun of Diablo 2 was finding the good loot that made you look really cool. We didn't have transmog and shit back then. I know Diablo Immortal doesn't have it, but speaking on the WoW behalf, we can't just go get, a cool fucking sword or something from, a vanilla dungeon that looked amazing, or like the Warblades of Azeroth or something from the Burning Crusade, and transmog into it. Which actually, I stopped playing in Mists of Pandaria, but I have a full transmog set from Molten Core, I believe it is. Anyways, unrewarding gameplay from Hell 1 difficulty to Hell 2 and beyond. Your progression comes to a screeching halt. I've heard this from a lot of players. You can either grind 8 hours a day, despite the multitude of hidden caps they don't tell you about, for 5, 10, 15 combat rating upgrades, or break down and go to the shop and get a lot more. It's a terrible feeling that extinguishes motivation to log in, besides doing a couple little dailies, you know? Money isn't everything. Even with a poor reception, our Immortal branch would continue to generate revenue on our end. Life is about more than money, though. It's about doing the right thing. As said throughout this post, we are sticking to our core values. We are walking away from 1.5 years of collective work, time, missed events, family obligations, development time, and expensive costs to do the right thing by us and you. And 5, they sacrificed their lives for this game. I mean, not literally, but like their IRL, like family obligations and stuff. 5, lack of remedy. Finally, as a team, we discussed what it would take for us to reopen the Immortal branch. Aside from severely limiting the infinite pay-to-win system and giving free-to-play players a real chance, we don't see a path forward for us. This is why we choose to shut down the branch prior to the first major update. We don't envision Blizzard implementing a remedy strong enough to truly bridge that gap. And I completely understand that. I look at the mercenaries problem in Hearthstone. We've had excess coins that we've been bitching about for years now, or ever since Mercenary launched. Maybe it was like a year and a half ago. Yet they continue to dump anywhere between 15 and last patch it was 17 and 18 if you count the limited time event, new mercs on us without fixing the coin problem. I mean, is it really that hard to fix? All they had to do was make the coins nondescript. You can get a portrait, you can get a merc, or you can get a coin pack. And rares, epics, and legends could contain more and more than each other. It's a simple fix to me. Now they're putting in some type of exchange coin thing, which I'm sure will probably, be like dust enchantments, where if you want to exchange, you lose a quarter of your coins or something like that, just so they can get you to buy more. I'm sure it's going to be monetized somehow, to fuck you over. But anyways, so they've closed it down. Maxroll's done with Diablo Immortal. This is the company or team that put their heart and soul into this. And when I watched, what's his name again? Sorry. Where is he? Raxantarax. When I watched his video, my heart went out for him. Like, I felt bad for the guy. Like, it was depressing to watch. And God, I mean, now it makes you wonder about Diablo 4. I'm looking more forward to getting invested in Path of Exile than I am Diablo 4, and that's pretty sad because I'm a huge Diablo fan, a huge StarCraft fan, but the polish isn't there anymore. The quality isn't there anymore. They're just pushing out stuff for content's sake to keep people busy for a little bit, and putting mounts in the store, to that people can buy, and it's just useless to play. In fact, if you look at a list of their games, there's actually a video on YouTube out there somewhere. Maybe I'll do a video about it some other time, but there's a list of all their games that are now like defunct, not playable, completely dead, and really the only one that's thriving is Hearthstone. For whatever reason, probably because of Battlegrounds and to get the new set. I mean, yeah, it's about $140, but if you buy the mega bundle and the normal bundle, you're pretty much going to get the full set. Alright, so we're done with that. I'm just going to get rid of that. Anyways, my heart goes out to them, and I really hope that God, I just can't believe how much time they spent. Like, I just feel so bad for them, but I'm glad that they discontinued it. That shows integrity and respect to them. Alright, so let's jump into Hearthstone and highlight the deck for this video, which is going to be a 40 card Paladin, Holy Paladin deck called 40 times the Holiness. Again, the link will be down in the description, and it is also already up on my Twitter.
Welcome! The ancient city of Zinashari is waiting for you.
Now, as I mentioned in my last video, I don't play at high legend. I don't have much time to play because of my disabilities. I do have rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis, so I have a lot of doctor's appointments. My medication knocks me out. If you've ever taken methotrexate, it's actually a pill for cancer, but it works for rheumatoid arthritis. I'm not on any meds for the multiple sclerosis at the moment because I can't figure out how to treat it with other things. I'm on 14 medications, so like I take those and I'm pretty much just asleep most of the day, and it's hard to keep pushing out content. So that's not trying to be a pity story, it's just letting you know. I'm just going to check my journal here real quick. To let you know that I'm not playing at high legend. This is in silver. You know, if you see me misplay, I'm not the greatest Hearthstone player, and I will admit it. If you see me misplay, I misplayed, you know? And I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm not going to just showcase my wins. You know, I'm not going to do some 6-hour Twitch stream and then pull 3 epic wins out of it and put those up on YouTube one day after another for views. I'm going to highlight the deck. I'm going to show it to you first, what I would keep from Mulligan, tell you how to use it, play a game, and show you how it goes whether I win or lose. You probably are a much better player than I, and you can tinker with it, remove cards, add cards, whatever you want. All I ask is that if you use it on a stream or anything like that, just give me a little bit of credit. You know, say this deck is by Grimclaws, or give me a follow back on Twitter or something like that. That's all I ask. And since I am a deck builder and that's what I like to do, if you want a specific deck built for you, just DM me on Twitter and let me know what you want, whether you're a streamer or you're about to start streaming or you're just a player. I love to build decks. I'll do it for free. Just hit me up, let me know, or, you know, leave something down in the comments. So I'm just gonna get these. I think there's a few buff 200 minions with Invigorating Sermon right here. So, alright, let's get into the deck. This is going to be a little bit longer video than I thought because of the Maxroll article. But anyways, here's the deck. It's called 40 times the Holiness. And as you can see, it's a 40 card Holy Paladin. Now basically the point of this deck is to... The win condition basically is to just clear everything the opponent puts down and heal out of range from them being able to kill you, and either run them out of cards or just take them down with your super buffed up minions. The only change I would suggest making, if you want to, for a little bit more board clear depending on what matchup you're going into, would be to remove these Immortalized in stones and put in 2 shit, why am I forgetting what they're called here? 2 brain fart here. Put in 2 wild Pyromancers. That's what I would suggest, because you can play holy Maki rolls on them and just clear entire boards. And but for now, I'm going to show you the way I built it. So win or lose, let's see how we do. Oh, sorry. Yeah. For mulligans, I usually, if I have a holy Maki roll in hand, I might keep a Myrmidon just for card draw. I usually keep either 1 Vitality or Flash of Light, depending. You know, one or the other. If I have one in the hands, I'll choose one that I want. Of course, Knight of Anointment, Battle Vicar, Alliance Bannerman. Sometimes I'll keep a Righteous Defense if I know I'm playing, like, say, against like a pirate warrior with Whetstone Hatchet that's going to be buffing up his minions, or any type of, you know, hand buff deck. If you have a holy spell, Shimmering Sunfish is good to keep sometimes. Blademaster, if you know you're going against maybe like a tokeny type deck, or with this deck you can actually get him pumped up pretty big, so you can clear pretty big boards with it. But end game, you got Mr. Smite, you got the Leviathan, you're supposed to have two brass wings. How the hell did that happen? There's supposed to be two brass wings in here to help clean up and just restore health to you. Apparently I've removed one. Alright, since we're playing two Immortalizing Stones, I can either take out... Now, because this is a holy spell, playing one of these pretty much makes this free by the time you get to it. You know, your Guardian's Grace for big pump-ups. And of course, getting Lightforged Cariel down helps immensely. And then you can start pumping up that Mr. Smite, or pretty much any other creature, minion that you have in hand, that they're just not going to be able to deal with. And at being at 40 health and having half of all damage dealt to you, you know, cut off, you have a lot of staying power. So I might take out one of these Immortalizing Stones and just put in another brass wing. And you know what? I'm going to take out the other Immortalizing Stone. And put in the... Where'd it go? The Wild Pyromancers. I just realized that I already posted the deck lists on Twitter, and the deck list for this one will be in the description as well, so you can try the one on Twitter without the changes, or you can try this version with the changes. So that's up to you. You can try either one. I believe I only had one brass wing in here, and I had a second Pyromancer. Yeah, alright. That looks to be about right. Oh, and I didn't have light rays in here. I had the Immortalizing Stones in here for taunt, and for lowering the cost of the Guardian's Grace. It's great for doing that. 3 big taunt minions and take 7 right off this. One card I did want in here, which is not in the original list, is Ragnar's Lightlord. Just because you want all the healing you can get. I'm not sure what to take out. Let's try one Immortalizing Stone and one Rag Lightlord. Alright, so we definitely have a lot of endgame potential, mid-game, and removal. So, let's see how we do. So if you want to use the version I originally created with the 2 Wild Pyromancers and the 2 Immortalizing Stones without the Ragnaros in it, then feel free to go on Twitter. I posted all of the decks. They're numbered 1 through 5 of the 5 decks I posted, and find the 40 times the holiness one and use that deck code for the original deck. And if you want to try this version that I'm going to play in just a second, then I'll put that down in the description. Now, since I'm playing on mobile, when I put it in the description, I don't have an HS Replay account, so I'm just going to paste it in there. If you're on a computer, you can just copy it, obviously, and make the deck. But if you're on mobile, it won't let you copy it from the description. And if you try to type it in there by yourself, you can't tell the difference between uppercase I's and lowercase L's because they look exactly the same. So I will also post the card list. So if for some reason the deck code doesn't work for you, just use the card list and you know exactly what cards to put in it. So with all that, excuse me, with all that said, let's get into a game and see how this goes. Today I'm using my Views Alto Vape, Royal Tobacco. Highly recommend it. Oh, it looks like a mirror match. Alright, so I like going second with this deck. It's really good with the coin. Because there's, you know, a lot of 3-drops, and most of your 1-drops besides Holy Knight or the guy that, or Battle Vicar, are spells that you don't need till later in the game. So I want to keep the Bannerman. I don't really have anything to use Wild Pyro on. Righteous Defense, since I'm probably going to keep that because it's a mirror match. I'm probably going to toss the Pyromancer for now and just see what I pick up. Hopefully Cariel the hero card. Oh, fucking called it. Not even using a deck tracker. No, they don't make deck trackers for mobile, so. And I got my Wild Pyromancer back. Alright. Good to know, good to know. So, nothing we can do here, so just end turn. Oh, looks like he's playing with a Seeker package. Alright. So we got a Vitality Surge as well. Draw a minion. We don't need to restore health, so that'd be kind of a waste. I'm just going to put up a token and pass the turn.
Initializing descent.
Oh, it's a Mech Paladin. There we go. This might be a little bit difficult. The one downside to this deck is that finding your Lightforged Cariel hero card can be a little bit difficult sometimes when you really need it and your deck is, you know, twice as big as, you know, not literally, but feels that way, twice as big as the person you're playing, and you're like, where's my goddamn hero card? I need it. You know, sometimes it can be hard to find. But that's why we have all the draw effects in here, the Vitality Surges and the other Flash of Lights and stuff like that. So, looks like I'm going to play, we can go Vicar. Let's pump him up first. Let's just play Bannerman.
It's not too heavy.
And of course it's another Pyromancer. Let's see what the secret is. Anything.
Job's done.
Noble Sacrifice. Alright, we got that out of the way. I'm so glad to hear that they're implementing random hero portraits. I have so many portraits and I've been wanting that for so long. I just hope they implement random, not just hero portraits for ranked play, but for battlegrounds as well, and randomized coins to go along with randomized card backs, which I don't know if you guys have noticed is kind of screwed up. You either have to favorite every single one of your card backs and put it on favorite only, or you have to unfavorite every single one of them and toggle off the favorites only button. But if you do that, it seems to reset itself from time to time, and it's back toggled even though you untoggled it. So I just went through and favorited every card back and toggled it on. So I've yet to see if it toggles itself off yet.
Should I?
So alright, I'm gonna clear this guy
No,
up.
I've got this.
And we're gonna play this while we have a holy spell in hand.
Job's done.
Alright. I didn't think the video was going to be this long, but I felt it was important to get that Maxroll article out and read. And also, I am playing a 40-card deck here, and these games tend to last a little bit longer. Alright, so what can I do here? Let's see. 2 Wild Pyromancers. 38 health. See, it's a 2-5. That's not going to kill that. Let's play the Vicar first. Can't go wrong with another Garden's Grace generally. If I put down a Pyromancer, I can't play a spell. I don't have enough mana for it, so I guess we just attack into this. I'm gonna play this holy spell. I'm just gonna get another minion in there. Shit, it was Mr. Smite. I was thinking it was gonna be a 1 or 2 cost minion. Like I said, I'm not a Grandmaster. I'm sure somebody would have played that different, but it lowers the cost of my Garden's Graces and gives me back to Akani. Pretty sure he's gonna pick minion here. Alright, we're at 6, so... We can't play a spell to test for spell. Best I can do is probably plop out Pyromancer. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it was Pyromancer. And I'll put out my Cariel.
For the Alliance and my family.
And
Tread freely.
back into the economy.
I fight.
I got really lucky by drawing the Lightforged Cariel, so that's 1 plus.
Reporting for duty.
Same thing with Shadow Priest. You know, you hate it when you draw Dark Bishop Benedictus, and you hate it when you draw Prince Renathal. Unless you get him pumped up, of course. So... I don't have 9, so... I'm gonna play Garden's Grace on her. Kill this off. Let's make the board wider.
Tread freely.
There you go. That is 40 times the holiness. That's how quick the deck can work. You get these giant minions right off the bat, give them Divine Shield, constantly clear the board, and you're constantly healing up, and you have plenty of draw between just going back real quick. You have plenty of draw through the flashes of light and the vitality surges, and Myrmidon casting Holy Maki roll on it can draw you a lot of cards. You can steal their stats. It's just crazy deck. So again, the description will be, the link, the card. I'm just gonna copy it right now. The deck code will be in the description. And if you'd like to play it, feel free. Like I said, if you want to play it on stream, just shoot me a little credit if you don't mind. Just say, this is Grimclaw's deck, or give me a follow back on Twitter, something like that. If you want a deck made for yourself, like I said, just ask. Whoever you are, streamer, player, whatever. I love making decks. And again, if you like the content, like, subscribe, hit the bell, share to other platforms. If you didn't dislike it, that's up to you, your opinion. If you do want to support the channel, you can see the Cash App down here. I already explained that. But the Claw Club community, I love you. The CCC, you are the best community out there. You've given me so much support with everything I'm going through medically. And I know I'm a small channel. I barely have 60 subscribers, but I'm working on that, getting more uploads up. I should have 4 videos up today if I do the rest of the decks. And maybe I'll split the article from this one off, but probably not. I'll probably just leave it as one video. And because right now we're at 49 minutes. So yeah, it was a short game. I'll probably just leave it at that. So with that said, the Claw Club community, I love you. The CCC, just remember, every single one of you is another claw on the paw that can slice through anything life throws at you. And with that, much love. Grim Claws out.